Lyrical Meditation Cypher Podcast. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Lyrical Meditation Cypher Podcast. I am Toni Blackman, one of your hosts.
And I am Alexandra, your other host. This podcast was created because we each believe that hip-hop is in alignment, or it can be, with wellness, healing, and transformation.
That's right. Our co-host collective includes a talented circle of artists who happen to be healers and teachers. But today in the Cypher, it's myself, Toni Blackman, Alexandra, and Coach Takiyah in the circle. Here in this Cypher, we explore universal themes and topics related to personal growth and development. Each episode begins with a meditation and a prayer. Then we have a Cypher, followed by a conversation on the theme of the week.
This week's topic is something I think everyone can relate to, which is a digital detox. But before we get into that, to help us detox ourselves from these digital devices, we have Takiyah, our coach in residence, who will lead us in a calming meditation.
So let us begin to clear by giving attention to our breath, finding comfort in our bodies, allowing your face to be soft and your gaze to also fall gently or close your eyes. And just let the rhythm of your breath begin to guide you. As you look within and settle more deeply into your own skin, begin to let whatever does not belong, whatever no longer serves, to just go. With every inhale, you fill up every cell with light. With every exhale, you simply let go more and more. Find your own rhythm. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. You have the ability to release by simply choosing. Let's take 3 final breaths together. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And on this final breath, as you exhale, let out whatever sound you need. Inhale and exhale. Ah.
Thank you, God. Thank you, universe. Thank you for being alive. Thank you for this energy that we have coursing through our veins. Thank you for the moment we put down our phones, for the feelings we can get when we just tune into our breath and remember our divine inherent worth. We pray to God for creativity, for presence, and for peace of mind.
Be more mindful. Stay in the moment. Hard when your mind is full and the world is its occupant. Be in it, not of it. We slaves to what we covet. Swim a while and recover. A nice kimono or dashiki pulled over. Take laps in your own body and let the spirit wash over. You may even be surprised when you embody what you discover. Distinguish what's godly. Know you from other. Energetically showering can be electrifying, chakra balancing. The nature of nature is reunifying. It's death-defying to stop defining yourself by the latest findings. You'll be testifying how the double-blind self-study magnified your sight and sparked the conscious uprising. Your soul be flying. You can't be sold on the line. Finally, feel your inner lion on a stroll, feeling alive again. And be able to let go of the residue and retake up residence in you. It's a tenet of mine. I'm not just a tenet of my mind. I'm a tentacle of divine, and I am the builder and the design.
Digital detox. Mine feels like a lost sock. Sounds and colors and clicks. Got me hoping the time stops. So stimulated. Got that feeling so hated. Always available. Messenger, TikTok, Gmail. I failed it. I feel my body shutting down. Plug it in so I don't hit the ground. Whoosh goes the sound. Whoosh goes the sound. Am I finally free? Clear-headed like the sea. Feel the world around me. Now that silence found me. Got my heart in the now. Instead of clouds, cloudy vision is clear. 'Cause attention is here.
We lose time on the clock when we get too locked to the box. It's like we're blocked and addicted. We want to put it down, but we can't get with it. We can't quit it. I might sound pessimistic, but it feels apocalyptic. Expensive phones, a bit materialistic. Selfies, a bit narcissistic. At first it seemed wicked, but we got tricked, kid. And life feels twisted. I mean, I need my devices, but I am conflicted. The relationship feels complicated. To detox, I got to be dedicated. I'm telling you, and I'm being clear. I want you to listen closely. I want you to hear that sometimes I can't put it down, and I fear that I, too, am a digital crackhead. That I, too, might not notice, even if the loved one next to me was dead. My eyes are fixed to the screen. You know what I mean? It's a very common scene. I hope that one day my system will be clean and free.
And free.
And free.
Woo.
Can we free ourselves from this digital detox that society is so wrapped in with?
Well, it's like this idea, the addiction to our devices and our digital lives and living online. I mean, for a lot of us, it's a part of our life's work, Mm-hmm. And if you're far, far away from your family and loved ones, it's part of your life.
Yeah. It becomes part of your lifestyle that you sometimes don't even realize is draining you.
Yeah.
You don't realize it's because it's so normalized. You don't realize that it can be a succulent.
Yeah. Well, I guess everything in moderation, right? There's so many amazing tools with technology. I mean, even just the way that we all met for this Cypher on Clubhouse on an app in the pandemic, miles away from each other. Who knows if we would have met otherwise?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I think at the time when we didn't have that interpersonal interaction, we were relying on our technology for that.
Mm-hmm.
There's something different about being in another person's presence and not looking to the screens all the time. And I wonder if because of the pandemic, this technological attachment has become even more magnified.
Right. Right.
I think too, there's always going to be like enhanced devices. And so with every enhancement, the addiction is heightened because people are chasing the next high. And I think it'll plateau though, because honestly, nature is eternal. And so we have an innate kind of draw and desire for nature. And if we can just get a taste, when we go outside in the sunshine, we remember, it's almost immediate. We remember because we're so confronted by the beauty or the temperature, or, it's right in our faces. And so sometimes, I think if we just even, you don't even have to go on a vacation. You could just go outside.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. But it's something that we don't think about enough is the way, I remember being around some children a niece and nephew, young. And they knew how to pose for these pictures. They were toddlers and they knew how to tap the screen. And they had all of these skills that, I'm still showing my mother what to do. But I watch sometimes how easy it is to put a screen in front of a baby's face. And I say baby because it's kids who are 2 and 3 that are looking at these screens and how it affects their social skills and their ability to focus, Yeah, I worry about that.
Yeah, it really does affect dopamine in the brain, the brain's reward system. Every time we get a like on social media, every time, our brain constantly craves more and more and more, and our attention spans are just so much shorter. And I wonder if, they talk about all the generations and mental health, and I think that, Gen Z right now is the most depressed generation. And I wonder if this technology, this identity of self and another place outside of ourself is really what is, driving this mental health crisis.
I think it may be that, and also perhaps a combination of the fact that we're in information overload. Because when you constantly take in data, like even a computer when you don't turn it off for a while, it actually doesn't function well, right? It needs to rest. So we take in, our brains are basically, a really advanced, amazing computer. And when we take in data without actually giving ourselves time to digest the information, we end up going into a state of like almost internal avoidance of self, right? It's like a block, and we're almost like informationally constipated.
Yeah. Sometimes when I'm on the subway, actually, or I notice if my phone dies when I'm out, how I always have the urge to just look at it and then it's dead. So I just kind of have to be present to my surroundings around me. And I'm like, oh, do I look this person in the eye? Do I look over there? I noticed my own addiction, even though, I know
well, they say, it can lead to social awkwardness and discomfort and being easily intimidated by real life situations. But, also, I know there are the positives in children, like it can help them develop certain skills. They can develop certain skills. And so there's the flip side. But the addiction, it's so easy to fall into that trap. I was at a show recently and I wanted to enjoy the show, but I wasn't in the very front. And there were like 20 people in front of me that had their cell phones up. And the person on stage is trying to get everybody to do this dance and to clap their hands. But they can't clap their hands because their hands are not free, and it sucks.
Yeah.
So
they couldn't even participate. Wow.
No, it sucks. And I get why some artists have a policy now where you leave your phones at the door.
Well, it takes you out of the moment, right?
Yeah.
If you're constantly worried about how good the recording of it is going to be to watch it back, are you really having the experience when you're there?
Right.
I took a break from TV for 2 years. 2 years I didn't watch. I didn't even have a TV. I got rid of it. And what I noticed was when I reintroduced it, I had to do it slowly. I noticed my sensitivity to the energy coming from TV, not just the EMF waves, that too, but also the violence. Like I could viscerally feel I was viscerally responding to the elevated violence and the kind of low level vibration coming from TV.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You guys know I spent a lot of time at home for about 5 weeks. And it was absolutely fascinating, especially elders, to see the TV addiction. That you come in, you turn on the TV, you wake up, you turn on the TV. At night, you have the TV on. You're not even watching it, and the TV is on. And the way that TV subtly disrupts your spirit. Your spirit. It almost like I helped my mom set up Spotify account and showed her how to navigate Spotify, because I'm like, Ma, you're not even watching it. Turn it off and put some music on. Like when I grew up, My mom had all these records and would always listen to music and had the cassettes in the car and then the CDs and I'm like, where's your music, Mom? Like, this is a part of who you are. And because of this box, you have forgotten yourself. So then I start preaching and I get on her nerves.
That's so right, though. It's so funny you talking about the TV stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'm so used to looking at a phone, watching TV feels less bad to me than looking at my phone all the time.
Yeah.
But then the better thing is just listening to something audio, like cleaning my house while a podcast or a book on tape is playing. There's something that keeps me more in the present moment when I do that and actually helps me pay attention. Maybe there's something about the visual element and the blue light that.
Yeah. Well, it's like two things: watching the random mindless programming, which does nothing to feed your soul, right?
Right.
And then there's the news.
Oh, God,
which it repeats over and over and over the same bad stories.
It's programming you, right?
Yeah.
It's programming fear and dissension, divisiveness. It's programming your deepest fears and also reinforcing certain stereotypes. I mean, it's just, so here's a question, right? Like, if we ask ourselves, like, what's the soundtrack of our lives?
Right.
What's playing in the background?
Right.
Because that's what's feeding our subconscious. And believe it or not, it actually affects our aura, our vibration, right? Our alignment. Just like a certain vibration of music. They play a certain hertz, frequency of music on the radio for a reason. Because they understand this, right? How it affects us neurally and also physiologically, biologically.
Right.
So we have to be conscious in our choices about play on a regular basis, and what we do the most shows up and has the most effect.
Yes. And do you think that our doing it ourselves, is that enough to make a positive impact? Like, how can we encourage other people to take digital detoxes, right? Do we feel like, are we doomed or?
I think if we're going to encourage people to take digital detox, we have to be crystal clear what we're asking them to do.
Right.
And we have to understand that for some, this is a very deep addiction. And so they're going to have withdrawal symptoms.
Yeah.
And then get really frustrated like an addict would be, and have, like, there are these steps you have to go through before you get to acceptance. And, I don't know.
So you know what might be good?
Yeah.
Is to take the kind of crowding out approach that you would if you were starting a new diet, right? Instead of thinking about what am I getting rid of? What am I going to be missing? Think about what can I bring in that would serve me?
Yeah.
So perhaps just start with, something that you really, really enlivens you, some good music or a good podcast that you feels like it, makes you feel good. And just start with that, because you only the same amount of time in every day.
Mm-hmm.
So if you fill up a little bit of your day with something like that, there's going to be a little less time for the other stuff.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
I've gone about a week with no phone. It was at a festival, so it was easier because everyone was not on their phone really. And it was magical. I felt so much less stress. I felt so much more present. Like, not having my phone with me just created just a difference of attention in my presence with other people.
I think I've had a no phone time probably while on tour because there was no reception. And I do remember the peace that came with it. Now, could I do it in this environment at home? I don't know, about more than a day. I could do 24 hours, maybe 48. I mean, even I'm a part of a women's group, and during the pandemic, we would do different challenges. It's called Fast Girls. And one of the challenges, one of the weeks, was around digital world, and you had to not sleep with any of your devices in your room. No TV, no phone, no tablet, no computer. And just that was difficult for so many of us. We knew it was in the living room. But but the sleep I had by day 3 was amazing. But it wasn't easy.
Anybody who does any kind of energetic, reorganizing of your home is going to tell you that the only thing that belongs in your bedroom is a bed.
Yeah.
Some nightstands.
Yeah.
No electronics. We're unconscious when we're sleeping. So we're very susceptible to energy, to suggestion, to vibe. So it's a sacred space.
Yeah. So what do you all think? So what would you say? Let's quickly, if you were to give a tip or 2 or 3 in terms of how to detox digitally, what would you tell a friend?
So I would tell a friend in order to mitigate some of the anxiety around this, tell your friends, put it on blast that you're going to be taking a break. Either by email, have an automated email that goes out that says, I'm not going to be answering emails for the next week. I'm not going to be answering texts for this amount of time, because I feel like now in today's age, people are so used to getting an immediate response that we actually fear for people if we don't hear from them. But just prepare yourself, make it a place where you don't have to worry about other people. You can just worry about yourself for a little bit.
That's good. I would say have a start time and an end time. I would say in the beginning of your day, because how you start your day carries the energy through the day. So, I have what's really helps me is to have morning rituals and an evening ritual. It doesn't include any of these devices. And so, have a time that you start your day, keep your phone on silent until a certain time and do things that serve you before then. Right, to align yourself, ground your energy, really set your attention, your intention before you start, and then have a shut off time. After what time are you going to begin to start winding down and letting go of the day and the world, and just pay more attention to your inner world. If you have a start and an end time, then you know that there's a container, and it's not just uncontrollably running amok.
I would add a few things. One, I already mentioned, make your bedroom, phone free, device free, a no tech zone, do that for your bedroom. 1, and then 2, practice putting your phone away while you're eating. Put it away. Don't look at it. I think that's a good practice to have, and then practice a cutoff time in the evenings to prepare yourself for a detox. Stop at 9, stop at 9:30, stop at 10. Choose a time to cut off. You're not going to look at any screens. If someone calls you, that's different. But you're not surfing, you're not doing anything on the net, and you're not watching anything. And they say that's good for sleep, right? Sleep prep.
I feel like if you combine all those, we just wrote an ebook.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like, speaking of books, I feel like if you need something to distract yourself from, your phone or your device, maybe journaling. It's just a way to get your thoughts out on paper.
Yeah. I like that.
And maybe if we could go just deep for 1 second, I would say, ask yourself, what do I need more of something, or am I avoiding something? Do I need less of something? Do I need more of something, or am I avoiding something? Because we only fill our time up, to the point where we're overflowing when there's something missing, or something we're not getting enough of, or something we're trying to avoid.
Right. Well, I'm glad we had this conversation. I think it's a conversation that we're going to keep having, because it's important, and because detoxing anything is a process, and it's a journey. It's not a destination, but it is a journey that we all need to begin. And yeah, maybe consider meditation.
Yes.
Yeah, and
everybody here, meditate with us. Every Monday. But don't use your phone. Find a way to program it into your house. So just place.
Yeah, and talk to yourself. Talk to yourself. Say, I know how to prioritize things, and act as if you do. Tell yourself what to do and listen to the thoughts in your head and pay attention if you're freaking out. Like Takiyah said, like, what's going on here? What is going on here? And be self-aware. And as you be self-aware, keep listening to the Lyrical Meditation Cypher Podcast, right?
Yes. This is where we breathe, we spit,
and we
vibe.
We vibe. Exactly. And so we got a lot of great episodes coming up for you all. We have some special guest interviews, and we're going to keep spitting and breathing. And we hope that you continue to vibe with us on the Lyrical Meditation Cypher Podcast. Follow and tune in. Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.
Thank you to Asha for being the best podcast platform partner.